So welcome to the third lesson on paraphrasing strategies. In this tutorial, we will be looking at the third strategy for paraphrasing. So this third strategy is about changing the structure of a sentence from active to passive or from passive to active. So the learning outcome for this short tutorial would be that by the end of this lesson, you will be able to change the structure of a sentence from active to passive and vice versa when paraphrasing. So first, let's understand what is the active voice and passive voice about. First off, the active voice shows that the subject performs the action. For instance, the dog chased the ball. So here the dog is the subject and it is performing the action of chasing, okay? And the ball is the object that is receiving the impact from the action. On the other hand, the passive voice is where the subject receives the action. So in this case, the ball was chased by the dog. So you can see here that in the active voice, the doer is foregrounded, whereas in the passive voice, it is the object receiving the action that is foregrounded. So it's kind of like you are rearranging, like you are putting the phrase, this part, to the back, right? And bringing the ball here to the front. It's kind of like a crisscross thing. So it's pretty easy to observe this strategy when you are paraphrasing, but you have to make sure that you don't lose the meaning in context. So, when you are converting from active to passive voice, make sure you identify the object in the active sentence, which becomes the subject in the passive sentence. A tip would be to use the form to be. For example, is or was, followed by the past participle of the main verb. Often include the original subject agent introduced by the word by. We'll look at some examples after this. As for converting from passive to active, make sure you find the agent in the by the phrase if present, because it's not always there. Or consider who is performing the action. Make the agent the subject of the new sentence and change the verb accordingly. So here are some examples. If the original sentence in the active voice is she learned how to paraphrase, then you can paraphrase it into the passive form by saying how to paraphrase was learned by the girl. So you can see that there are a few changes made here. The pronoun she has been replaced with the girl, and the phrase how to paraphrase, this part is from the back, it is brought to the front. Okay, and the verb, this one is the verb learned, but here it's actually the past participle for the verb learned. Okay, and if the original was in the passive form, for instance, the cake was baked by Mary, the active version would be Mary baked the cake. So you foreground Mary, who is the doer of the action, and bring her to the front, just like this. So I hope these examples show you a good way for you to actually apply this strategy. So now it's time for you to level up. Do try the exercises in the module to get the hang of this. Thank you and see you in the next lesson.